God help us all.
Who is Justin Fair? Who are you?
The Basic Human Needs for Good Mental Health and Emotional Well-Being. By Alan R. Austin. If you are suffering from an emotional problem such as depression, anxiety, obsessive behavior, or repetitive addictions, there is only one place you should start when looking for a solution. Your basic human needs. It seems obvious, but all too often, when it comes to psychology, common sense goes out the window, and the textbooks come off the bookshelf. Why not leave them there for just now, and ask yourself the following questions. If you had no gasoline in your car, would you be wondering why it won't start? If your garden hadn't seen rain for 6 months, would you be racking your brains about why all the plants had died? Of course not. But ask people to apply the same objective observation to their own lives and you are setting a much trickier task. Apparently, if you chuck a frog into a pan of boiling water, it will hop straight out again. But if you put him in cold water and slowly heat it up, he will sit there until well and truly poached. They are highly likely during this short period to appear strange as their thwarted need for attention asserts itself in an outpouring of communication. If the general physician takes this as representative of the patient's general mental condition, they may prescribe drugs, where really a few hours of being listened to would suffice. You may also have noticed this in evening class attendees who command the teacher's attention all the time, asking seemingly daft questions and not really listening to the answers. Taking heed of the mind-body connection. This is so important, and so often neglected. Without correct and regular nutrition, sleep and exercise, your psychological state can suffer considerably. It is often seen that young people, on leaving home and the structure that provides, succumb to one mental illness or another. Their mealtimes, sleep patterns, and other regular habits become disrupted, with predictable consequences. It seems that people are increasingly treating themselves as machines. The need for purpose, goals, and meaning. No one can totally escape this drive attached to personal identity. The devil will make work for idle hands to do. Perhaps the overriding element that sets human beings apart from other animals is the ability to identify, analyze, and solve problems. This is what enabled us to develop to where we have. If this ability is underused, the imagination can start to create problems of its own, perhaps in an attempt to give you something to do because it is not occupied doing anything else. Regardless, if a person is deprived of the outward focus and satisfaction created by achieving goals, mental illness is often close behind. The need for meaning is perhaps even more profound. Viktor Frankl's book Man's Search for Meaning documents the impact of lack of meaning on concentration camp prisoners, of which he was one. He says in it that what is the meaning of life, is a question that is asked of you, not one that you yourself ask. It is a hugely powerful and important read when considering mental health. A sense of community and making a contribution. This varies with the personality and character of the individual. This basic need provides a context for a person with the need for meaning. It gives them a reason for being, over and above their own personal needs. That has been shown to benefit the immune system, mental health, and happiness. One obvious fulfiller of this need is religion, but can also be an idea shared with others, a club, charity, or community work. In fact, anything that takes the focus off the self. The need for challenge and creativity varies in individuals. Some need more, others want no personally generated challenge and creativity. Learning something new, expanding horizons, improving on existing skills all provide a sensation of progress and achievement. Without this, a person can feel worthless, or that there is no real reason for their being. Everyone has a need for intimacy. Tying in with the need for attention, it seems that people have a need to share their ideas, hopes and dreams with others close to them. For some, this can be as simple as talking to a loved pet, but for most of us, it requires that we have at least one individual with whom we can converse on the same level. The need to feel a sense of control. All your eggs in one basket. The results of total loss of control over your surroundings, relationships, or body are not hard to imagine, and have been well documented. From survivors of torture, to someone losing their job, those who are able to maintain a sense of control somewhere in their life fare the best. This is why having a variety of interests and activities are so important. There is an obvious need for a sense of status. It's important to feel important. And we all know some people for whom this need is too important. However, if someone feels recognized for being a grandmother or parent or good son or daughter, this may be enough. Young people finding their feet can have improved self-esteem if they feel they have attained a position of trust and recognition. Young boys who were at risk of exclusion because of behavioral problems were trained as mentors and paid for helping younger kids who were also at risk of exclusion. Not only did the mentors' own behavior improve, they also reported greater levels of happiness, contentment, and self-esteem. Much disruptive, problematic behavior may be a misapplied attempt to meet this need for recognition. The need for a sense of safety and security. We need to feel our environment is basically secure and reasonably predictable. Financial security, physical safety and health, and the fulfillment of other basic needs all contribute to the completion of this need. As with all of the following needs, we can take it too far and become obsessive about it. You will see this sometimes if the need for creativity is not met. It may seem that a life that meets all of these needs would be intolerably busy. But of course, one activity can meet many needs. Charity work, for example, could be said to fulfill some needs. Walking with a friend as a pastime might go towards some needs. Generally, what this suggests, and what has been borne out by recent research, is that a more complex life is a more healthy one. Then if one area of life fails or is taken away from you, your basic needs are maintained, at least in part, by those that survive. So the message is: if your progress through life has gone a bit awry for you or a friend, check if there is gasoline in the car, and that the battery is charged before going to a mechanic to have the engine taken apart. Problems due to missing basics in life tend to develop over time, and so can be easily missed. Then, when the problem arises, be it anxiety, depression, addiction, or some other nasty situation, they can't for the life of them fathom out why. It's therefore a great idea to know what your own garden needs in order to grow well, so when you see something starting to wither, you can check your list and apply the necessary nutrients. So here's a brief list. The need to give and receive attention with a need for connection. No man is an island. Without regular quality contact with other people, mental condition, emotional state, and behavior can suffer quite drastically. This is often particularly obvious in elderly people who have become isolated. After days alone, their first contact may be their doctor, who sees them for only 10 minutes. The need for mental health and emotional well-being. From survivors of torture, to someone losing their job, those who are able to maintain a sense of control somewhere in their life fare the best. This is why having a variety of interests and activities is so important. The need that has many demands only one life. It may seem that a life that meets all of these needs would be intolerably busy. But of course, one activity can meet many needs. Generally, what this suggests, and what has been borne out by recent research, is that a more complex life is a more healthy one. Then if one area of life fails or is taken away from you, your basic needs are maintained, at least in part, by those that survive.